Hey, so today we are going to go over how to make tattoos like Amal's, uh, and port them into Dragon Age, or whatever the word is. Uh, so, to start, we'll go with the just how to make tattoos, which is fairly easy. This is the reference I have for Amal's tattoos, and I really just freehanded everything. Well, I freehanded one side and then flipped it because I like the texture of my graphite pen instead of a symmetry pen. But, uh, for this tutorial, I'll just quickly make another one, and I'm going to use this as a base because it gives a pretty good look at where the basic parts are. This is an eye, this is going to be an eye, this is about where the chin ends, the nose is around here, in fact, like, there, the mouth is around here, so because it's so extensive, it gives a pretty good look at where the anchor points in the face are. So I'm just basically going to freehand some. I'm going to be using a symmetry pen for ease, despite how I like the textured look. And so more or less just means, yeah, okay, that looks about right. But so I'm using Amal's tattoos, and I'm going to do just a freehand Vaseline design. And there's really no particular, like, there's no science to it. It's art. Yeah, I would hope you. Ugh. But it is generally speaking, but not always, symmetrical. It is generally speaking kind of intricate, ornate. Generally speaking, it's pretty extensive. Canonically, the concept art for it fucking slaps. I think I have that. I didn't pull it up because that wasn't part of the tutorial I was going for. But I have saved in my stuff folder. This is some cool ass concept art I found for Vaseline. So I'm fucking down for that. Did I fuck up? Alright, well, fucked up my files there, but, well, when don't I fuck up my files? So, it is not always, there's usually, sorry for this, there's usually a kind of, ¿cómo se dice? I literally can't think of the word. Generally speaking, I guess there's a style. There's like repeating shapes. You could do that if you. I mean, for these are my own, but there's generally sort of repeating shapes, which is how I do more. When I extend canon designs, it makes it easier because I can pick up on the patterns and shapes and go from there. And I do not know what I'm doing. I don't think tattoos on the lips work in Dragon Age Origins, or any of the Dragon Age. I don't know. That's not something I've looked into. Maybe I should have. Not sure how that's going to line up, but I thought I'd try so. So, here is... It's not as extensive as I usually do, but this is for the purposes of tutorial, and I usually do these in black. So I will export this as a transparent PNG, and I will save it as B because I have a bunch of A's. Alright, so that is the Viasling, more or less. And so, to then get that in-game, we're going to be using GIMP. And the first part about GIMP is you need to get the GIMP DDS plugin. So you just go to the downloads, and you're going to download this, and you are going to unzip it into GIMP, lib, GIMP, 2 plugins, and you are going to put the things in that folder right in here. I don't put them in their own folder. I might be able to, I just directly put them in there. And that will let you work with the DDS files, which is what the tattoos in-game are. They're like saved on. So if we go in here, here is my Amal tattoo, which I have in the red channel, because I was talking with, alright, so the next part is, here's the DDS file, and for the game, a DDS file can contain 3 tattoos, one in the red channel, one in the green channel, one in the blue channel. For mine, I just have it in the red channel because I don't have any other tattoos, but they can't overlap. It just messes things up. So, but I use this, which is the tattoo I already have in game, as a base because it gives me a good idea of how to align it. So I will go to open as layers. I will go to my desktop and pick up b.png, and now I will align it. So that aligned. I don't have my glasses on, so I'm not good at this right now. But for the purposes, we will say it's aligned enough. Then we will go layer to image size, and I will hue chroma, and just up the chroma, and it'll give me a red adjacent color, which then I will go back in again just max out the chroma. And then if I hide this, what we're going for. So, next I will save my tattoo, this new file. I will export this tattoo file, and I'm going to export it to my desktop, just as tattoo tutorial, and export it, and it will come up with this. And what you need to do is, I use DXD5, and you need to generate bitmaps. It will OK. And then the next step is you need to rename it. Because we are overwriting an in-game file. And so I have a handy thing here. So here are the tattoo files in-game, and it is specific to race/origin. Since this is a Vaseline, there's 4 possible tattoo files I could name it. I'll go with that one for ease. There we go. And then the next step is going to be to take this and copy it into our override folder. But we have to put in the new folders in there. So we go to Packages, Core, Override, and you need to make 2 new folders, one named High and one named Medium. And so here's my in-game tattoo I already have for Amal. And so I will put the Vaseline in here and just paste it in, and then I will paste it in the medium. And that's basically it. Let's launch the game. Of course, Steam needs to update. Alright, here we go. Apologies for the audio. So I will go to a new game. And I know more than you. I will go to make I'll just make a male Dalish elf for no particular reason. And go to skin, and go to tattoo, and there you go. Slightly misaligned, but I can easily fix that. As I said, I don't have glasses, but for the purposes of a tutorial, there we go. So, that's more or less it. It's pretty straightforward once you figure out all the file stuff. So go forth and make your tattoos.